So the New York Times Dealbook Summit for 2023 was, well, let's just say it was interesting, as we all saw what Elon Musk said what he said against Bob Iger, against all of Disney and the advertisers that have been pulling away from X. Now we know that Elon said what he said because he felt that the time was right. It was all on stage. It was the best way to reach Bob Iger directly, simultaneously with everyone watching, by the way, as well. And there's a lot of things going on right now between Disney, between Bob Iger and the board of directors, Elon Musk. And if you think about it, this is not good for Disney because now they're dealing with three entities, or groups of people, so to speak. You got South Park Studios going up against Disney lately. You've got the Daily Wire, and now you've got X/Elon Musk going up against Bob Iger. That's three now in just a couple of months' time. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, there's a lot of things that are happening and brewing behind the scenes where Elon is preparing to strike back at Disney once more, and there's a lot of things also brewing within Disney on the other side of things when it comes to their announcements that they are about to make for 2024. Now, as you all know, 24 is going to be a very barren and empty year for Disney because of all the delays. That's why exactly I believe that year is going to be worse than 2023 with all of the nonsense dragging into that year. And to top it all off, they're not going to have major releases except for Deadpool 3 being the main one. Now, with that being said, what's even interesting on top of that is that with the Bob Iger and Elon Musk situation only getting worse for Disney, one major development has to do with Elon Musk striking back at Bob Iger after the Dealbook Summit drama. Now, one major development involves a heavy segment that Elon is preparing to present on the Joe Rogan podcast, also known as the Joe Rogan Experience. Now, this presentation that is being prepared is described to be a game changer for the interview that is being put together right now. Elon is preparing to go over all the box office failures and will be heading into a detailed conversation with Joe about how exactly Disney destroyed Star Wars. With Elon Musk being a Star Wars fan himself, he is preparing to erupt his frustration with Disney, Star Wars as a whole on the Joe Rogan Experience, and will be going in depth everything wrong with the sequel trilogy Star Wars movies, as that, of course, has been going on with the latest Marvel failures as well. With Elon Musk as a big Marvel fan on top of that, he is also preparing to discuss about the failure of the maervels, but the most extreme piece of all that is being prepped to be discussed ahead of time in depth with Joe Rogan is going to involve new revelations on his struggles with Disney, both in the past when he was in the process of acquiring Twitter, and other revelations related to when he rebranded Twitter as X, and how Disney was interfering with Elon's stance on the platform, and Disney's early signs of shifting away from advertising before what even happened recently with Elon. Now, the third segment or conversation piece planned for the Joe Rogan Experience is set to completely dismantle everything wrong with Disney Star Wars, Marvel, and even their upcoming live-action remakes such as Sword in the Stone, Bambi, and more. Elon is preparing to put a stake in Disney by going over new truths with their new business models and the corporate ladder, and how flawed it really is with ESG and DEI strategies, along with exposing new revelations related to the Disney parks. He is also planning to expand beyond the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, and is already planning to go on others to spread the word against Disney. Now, guys, before I get to this major conclusion, what's interesting about this is that for those of you that don't know, Elon and Joe Rogan, they do have a past. They have done a great interview with each other before. I do heavily suggest you all go ahead and watch it through and through if you got some spare time, or if you find yourself very bored. I think it's going to be something very interesting for you to watch or listen to if you are a follower of Elon Musk. Now, what's interesting about this is that, yes, we know that there's a lot of people that hate Elon, there's also a lot of people that love Elon, and I just want to make it very much clear that anyone is welcome here below in the comments. I mean, you don't have to like Elon, you can like Elon all you want. I would love to hear your opinions on that side of things, but we all have to admit that what Elon said, what he said on stage against Bob Iger, against Disney, absolutely needed to happen, because now it put them in the hot seat. Disney's getting so much negative attention now that this is exactly why Bob Iger is going into endless damage control. You know, saying things like there's no such thing as a disinterest in our products by our customers, and that there's no boycott in place. All these crazy moves by a CEO only makes it seem like he's worried and that he's very much unstable within this company. Now, we know that he's planning to step down by 2026, by, of course, the end of contract, and I think that there's a lot of things going on with that, because there's a lot of developments happening with the board of directors and their stance on Bob Iger. That, too, is something that we will be talking about in the next couple of days as we garner more information on that. But what's interesting about this has a lot to do with Elon Musk. Now, in conclusion, Elon's comments have already resulted in thousands of Disney Plus subscribers ever since the DealBook Summit, leaving the service, of course, as Bob Iger tries to lie his way through that no such thing that is happening to the general public. Elon is also preparing to make a very important statement against Disney and Bob Iger again to everyone on the X platform in the coming weeks, something that has been wildly discussed with everyone at the X company. That is something that Disney is afraid of, with receiving constant negative attention on their hands during their struggles and delicate position on all fronts with the Disney company. Now, we already know that Bob Iger went on a firing spree over at Walt Disney Studios. He fired many different employees in all departments after the Wish box office failure. And this was already in the works before it debuted in theaters. They really had no confidence in that movie. And that film was pretty much the final nail in the coffin for any kind of success in 2023. I mean, they were looking at that movie as their saving grace to look good in this year. And it just didn't happen. So 2024, all bets are on Deadpool 3 for Disney, and I'm already having bad vibes about that film. You guys may be asking why. Well, we already know that there were creative differences between Ryan Reynolds and the Disney higher-ups, both on the creative end of things and also on locations. He wanted to shoot in Canada and many different parts of Canada where he was born, and Disney wasn't having it in many instances about where exactly Ryan wanted to film. And that's another piece of drama that we'll be talking about, but there's a lot of things going on beyond that I think Deadpool 3 is going to be quite watered down compared to the first film especially. We all have to remember that this is Disney after all. You know, I think that if you put that into the equation, it's going to be interesting. I mean, if they succeed with Deadpool 3, alright, fine. I'm all for it if Deadpool 3 is going to be a good film, but I don't think it's going to be enough regardless to turn Disney around at all. Let's just be very, direct with that. So overall, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.